Bhagavad Leela, 10th Canto, Chapter 41, Krsna and Balarama enter Mathura. After showing his majestic Vishnu form to Akrura in the Yamuna at Akrura Ghat and receiving Akrura's prayers, Sri Krishna withdrew that vision, just as an actor winds up his performance. Krishna made that form disappear without asking Akrura, thus disregarding. Akrura quickly came out of the water and returned to the chariot in an astonished state of mind. Krishna inquired from Akrura, "Did you see something wonderful on the earth, in the sky, or in the water? From looking at you, I think you have seen something. You look rather bewildered." Sri Akrura replied, "Whatever wonderful things the earth, sky, or water contain, all of these things exist in you alone. When I am seeing you, what wonderful thing have I not seen?" Akrura resumed the journey and reached Mathura by sunset. Wherever Krishna and Balarama passed on the road, the villagers crowded to look at them with great pleasure. Nanda Maharaj and the Brijbasis took a shortcut through the forest and arrived in Mathura first. They camped in a garden on the outskirts of Mathura, waiting for Krishna and Balarama. After joining the coward men, Krishna took Akrura by the hand and smilingly said, "Akrura, take the chariot to your home. We will rest here with the coward men and take a tour of Mathura." Akrura replied, "O Lord, I do not wish to enter the Mathura alone. I am your devotee. So it is not proper for you to abandon me, because you are always affectionate to your servants. Please now come to my home with Balarama and the Gopas and your friends. I am an ordinary householder attached to fruit of rituals. Please purify my domicile with the dust of your delicate lotus feet. O God of gods, O Supreme Lord Narayan, I offer you my obeisances." Krishna replied, "I will come to your house later on with Balarama, but first I have to satisfy my friends and well-wishers by killing Kansa." Disappointed, Akrura entered Mathura with a heavy heart. He told Kamsa the success of his mission and went home. In the evening, Krishna entered Mathura, which had been very nicely decorated for the festivities. City gates, household entrances had arches made of and doors of gold. There were pleasant gardens and parks beautifying the city, palatial residential buildings symmetrically arranged as if designed by one engineer. The city resounded with crying peacocks and chirping birds, perched in the balconies or on the roofs of the homes. The streets were sprinkled with water, and flower petals and grains were strewn everywhere. The entrances to each house were decorated with water pots, mango leaves, ribbons, smeared with yogurt and sandalwood paste. There were rows of lamps, bunches of flowers, flags, and banana trees and betel trees. All the people came out of their houses to see Krishna and Balarama. Many women gathered on the rooftops to see Krishna and Balarama and their friends enter Mathura. In their haste to go see Krishna, some of the women put their clothes and ornaments on backwards, or forgot one earring or an ankle bell, and others put kajal only in one eye. In rushing out to see Krishna, they put their clothing on backwards. They appeared with only one earring or one anklet, or kajal only to their left eye. Those that were eating abandoned their meals, went without finishing their baths or massages. Women who were sleeping woke up when they heard the commotion. And mothers who were breastfeeding their infants dropped their babies on the side and ran out to see Krishna. Some women even interrupted their ceremonies, such as wedding rites, and abruptly ran away without circumambulating their husbands in a part of the wedding ritual. Others were being massaged with oil by their maidservants, but they gave up the massage and ran away. Without even completing their baths, some women ran out of their houses while their bodies were still wet. They hadn't even dried off their bodies. Women who were very attentively feeding their babies, newborn babies, immediately gave them up and left. The lotus-eyed Shyam smiled as he recalled his bold pastimes, and he captivated the Mathura Ramanis' minds with his glances. Krishna walked with the gait of a royal elephant in rut, creating a festival for their eyes. Raman Atmanotsavam. Krishna's transcendental body, which is a source of pleasure for the divine goddess of fortune. The ladies of Mathura had repeatedly heard about Krishna, and their hearts melted when they saw him. They are honored to be sprinkled with the nectar of Krishna's glances and broad smiles. Carrying him into their heart through their eyes, they embraced him, Sri Krishna, the embodiment of all ecstasy. Their bodily hair stood on end. They forgot the unlimited distress caused by Krishna's absence. In this verse, Sukadeva Goswami uses the phrase, Arim Dhamma, O subduer of enemies. By this, Sukadeva is implying that by hearing and meditating on such pastimes as Krishna entering Mathura and interacting with the Mathura Ramanis, by hearing and meditating on such Krishna Leelas like this, one can conquer the enemies of lust, anger, greed, and envy. These are the real Aris, Aridham. These are the real enemies. The lotus faces of the Mathura Ramanis were blooming with affection. The ladies that had climbed to the roofs of their mansions rained down showers of flowers upon Krishna and Balaram. Vishnu says, the women were showering flowers in the form of smiles, flower smiles, or they were showering flowers in the form of actions, indicating that their minds were delighted in love. The Brahmanas standing along the path, they honored Krishna and Balaram with auspicious articles, and they welcomed them with yogurt, barley corns, water pots, full water pots, flower garlands, chandan, camphor, sandalwood paste, and other items of worship. At this time, the women of Mathura, they exclaimed, "Oh, what severe austerities must the damsels of Braja have performed to be able to see Krishna and Balaram every day. Krishna and Balaram are the greatest source of pleasure for all mankind." Seeing a washer and a purse, a dyer of cloth, Krishna asked him for some freshly laundered cloth. Krishna said, "Hey, Dobiwala, please give suitable clothes for Krishna and Balaram, for myself and Balaram. We actually deserve them. If you do this charity, you'll get the greatest benefit." But this Dobiwala was the Kaprawala of Kansa. He was very angry. He said, "You impudent boys, you're accustomed to roaming the mountains and forests with your animals, and yet you would dare to put on such clothes as these? Don't you understand? These are the king's possessions you're asking for. Fools, get out of here quickly. Don't beg like this if you want to stay alive. When someone is too bold, the king's men arrest him and kill him and take all his property. As Adobe spoke so proudly and brazenly, Devaki Nandan got angry and cut off the man's head with his fingertips of his hand. All the Dobiwala's assistants dropped their cloth and ran away. Then Krishna took the clothes, and he and Balaram, they distributed them to the coward boys. Then a weaver of cloth came forward affectionately and dressed Krishna and Balaram in very wonderful colored cloth. Now Krishna and Balaram looked resplendent, uniquely, wonderfully ornamented outfit. Krishna blessed the weaver of cloth that he would achieve liberation and attain a spiritual body of a coward boy after death. Then Krishna and Balaram went to the home of Sudama, the flower garland maker. Sudama, the Mali, stood up and bowed down, placing his head on the ground. He offered Krishna and Balaram a seat and bathed their feet. And he offered them arghya, garlands, pans, sandalwood paste, and other presentations. Then he prayed, "O my Lord, my birth is now sanctified, and my family free of contamination. Now that you both have come here, my forefathers, demigods, and great sages are certainly satisfied with me." Sudama spoke to the Lord at that time, "O Krishna, although you are equal to all, you show special mercy to your devotees. You say in Gita, 'I envy no one, nor am I partial to anyone. I am equal to all, but whoever renders service unto me in devotion is a friend. He is in me, and I am also a friend to him.'" Sudama the Mali said, "Actually, my Lord, you are merciful to that person who worships you, whether he is a Brahmin or a dog-eater, without regard for his birth and caste. Because of this, you have granted all success to me, a garland maker and a weaver." This is actually the Mali, the weaver here. Sudama said, "Please order me to do whatever you wish. I am your humble servant to do whatever service you want." Now Krishna and Balaram were beautifully decorated with flower garlands. Sudama chose unshakable devotion for Krishna, the supreme soul of all existence, friendship with his devotees, and transcendental compassion for all living beings. Not only did Krishna give these benedictions to Sudama, but Krishna also awarded Sudama strength, long life, fame, beauty, and ever-increasing prosperity for his family. And Krishna and Balaram took their leave. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Jai Jai Shri Radhe.